Hi, friends. I'm Andy Green, and today I'm talking about a friend I miss because this is the Naked Man Podcast. I've been thinking about my friend Chris a lot lately. It's been 6 months since he passed, and I miss him. It's almost October, which is our favorite month. We both love horror movies, and besides, Chris's birthday is in October. Chris was one of those friends who somehow mentioned my exact birthday, May 14th, every single time we spoke, proud of his knowledge about me. It was always clear how much he thought about me, how much he wanted to celebrate me every single time he brought that up. Especially when it wasn't even close to my actual birthday. So, I wanted to celebrate him. I wanted to remember him. Which is why the podcast is going to be a bit sparse this month. I'm embarking on a horror movie talk show this October on YouTube, tentatively called Horror Movies with Friends. 31 days, 31 movies, 31 different guests, 31 different drink pairings from small businesses I admire. The only reason I haven't given up on this ludicrous proposition yet is because I'm doing this to honor Chris. I didn't even know I was, but that's why I can't give up. The last thing Chris ever gave me was a way too thoughtful year's subscription to Shudder, a horror movie app that I adore. In concert with my talk show, I'm going to be running a foundation in Chris's name through the Trevor Project, a nonprofit organization dedicated to suicide prevention efforts among lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, and questioning youth. I will leave more information in the episode description for those interested. But for now, I'm just going to read what I wrote for Chris back in April, when I had to share the hard news with people, when I was just beginning to process my loss. I still feel there at this moment. The last time we spoke, I told him I loved him, I missed him, and couldn't wait to talk soon. I am grateful for that much. Chris was the first friend I ever made in college. I met him at freshman orientation, and the magic of college was such that he, my roommate, and I were instant friends. He called me White Panther, and I called him Brown Bear. These crude nicknames were code names because together we were superheroes. I know he made me feel like one whenever we spoke because there was no question as to how much he cared about me. I don't know if I was ever able to fully communicate how much of a hero he was to me, how much I cared about him, and now he's gone. Chris is one of my favorite people. I say that in the present tense because that will never cease being true. Whenever we talked, they were doozies that fed my soul. We discussed race, sexuality, depression, society, but mostly we talked about the Marvel Cinematic Universe and our stories. More than anything, Chris loved the X-Men, a selfless team who fought to protect people who hated and feared them for being different. The team we need the most yesterday, today, and every last tomorrow. Recently, Chris was excited about the story he was writing about a man who lives in a house surrounded by ghosts. These ghosts were his family, his friends, his chains. He was haunted by these ghosts. He loved these ghosts. This man was conscripted to take care of them, forced to for multiple lifetimes under a contract signed by his ancestors. This man dreamed of a sexy mailman who would come to deliver love and freedom from generational trauma, to take him away into the land of the living. I have to believe that Chris has now found that sexy mailman, enchanted off into an alternate universe, a more forgiving world. Chris, I love you, I miss you, and I can't wait to talk soon. Thank you for listening and being here with me. I know we've all lost a lot of people over the past 2 years and beyond. Please don't hesitate to reach out if you need to talk to someone. If you like this episode or any episode of this podcast, help me out. Tell someone else about the show. Share it with someone you love or you think it might resonate with. Please rate and subscribe to us on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. It would mean a lot to me. If you want to join our community, follow us on Instagram and Twitter at NakedManPod and email us at nakedmanpod@gmail.com. If you have any thoughts and feelings you'd like to share, call and leave a message at the Naked Man phone line at 747-231-7120. We're also on Facebook at the Naked Man Podcast. Eventually I'll get back to posting there, I promise. Next time on the Naked Man Podcast, we will continue the grieving process as I bring on my old high school friend Galen Emery to open the door to grief together. In the meantime, as my dad always says, be sweet. This episode of the Naked Man Podcast was conceived by Andy Green. The Naked Man is a podcast hosted, created, and produced by me, Andy Green. All music was composed by Robert Panico, and all graphics were created by Christopher Miles.